Hey y'all, this is Jessica with Bless Your Heart. Let's do a full vinyl wrap on a Koozie Tumbler today. We're going to use this 12-ounce Koozie Duo from MakerFlow Craft, and I used my lid to show me what center is on front and back. I'm going to use this piece of scrap vinyl from Flynn Sisters Supply Shop, and I want that huge pink flower right in the middle to be front and center. We're going to use the Hinge Method today to apply our vinyl. And what that is we pull back just a little bit of this vinyl backing and we cut it off. And that is going to leave us a little bit of the sticky on the back of the vinyl exposed, and we're going to use that as an anchor point. So what you want to do now is line up the vinyl however you want it, and like I said, I want that big pink flower front and center. So I'm going to line that flower up with my top middle mark, and I'm going to flip it over. And when I get that how I want it, when I get all of it as even as I possibly can, I am going to lay down that piece of vinyl that no longer has the backing on it, and that is going to be an anchor for us. And once we get that laid down, we're going to use our big squeegee. You can use your hands or whatever. And we're going to just smooth this onto the cup in one fell swoop. That backing will come off as we push the vinyl onto the cup. And that is going to give us the easiest method to try to be as bubble and line free as possible. When we get back around to where we started, there's going to be some overlap. So I'm just going to go in and cut that off, and this is going to leave me another little piece of scrap vinyl that I can do another project with. So once we're done removing that, we're going to go ahead and finish pushing that vinyl down onto itself now. And then I'm going to use my craft knife, and I'm going to cut the top overhang off. This is one of those times that we're going to need a sharp craft knife so it doesn't tear or wrinkle our vinyl in any form or fashion. Once we're done cutting off our overhang, let's address this seam. Now we have quite a bit of overlapping vinyl here, so I'm going to cut in the middle of both of these pieces of vinyl, all the way down to the cup. When I'm done with that, I'm going to pull off that top piece of vinyl that is overhanging, and we're going to get rid of that. Now I'm going to pull up the bottom piece that is overhanging, and I'm going to pull that out. You can see here that I am, where it's overlapping that vinyl, I am pulling the bottom piece off, and we're going to pull that all the way out. When you get that bottom piece of underneath vinyl taken off, now your seam will sit flush with itself. There is no more overlapping or anything like that. You have a nice smooth surface. Now we're going to go in and just use our edge trimmer tool to cut that vinyl on the top rim and the bottom rim. This is just to make that finish nice and crispy, and we have a great straight line to do whatever it is we're going to want to do next. Once we get finished with that top edge, we're going to use the exact same setting on the bottom edge, and we're going to get ready to glitter the bottom. Now that we're done with that, I'm going to go in and use this little piece of masking tape to protect my vinyl. I am going to put it just slightly down from the very edge of my vinyl because I don't want any silver showing through this glitter. My glitter choices today are going to be West Texas Glitter, Cupid, and Electric Kiss. For my glitter adhesion, I'm going to use Mod Podge. I'm going to put a hefty amount on here because that Cupid is a very chunky glitter. So I'm going to load this up, and then we're going to spread our glitter all over. We are going full coverage, top to bottom and side to side on this bottom rim with this chunky glitter. I'm going to try to cover as much of the bottom as I can, and I'm going to pat down any of those obnoxious pokey bits that are coming up. And then we're going to go in with a finer cut called Electric Kiss, and that's just going to kind of fill in any potholes that we might have. Once we're happy with our glitter work, we're going to go in and immediately remove our masking tape while that glue is still wet. This is going to allow us to kind of push back some of those larger pieces of the chunky glitter that want to hang down. And if you do this after it's dry, you're going to end up with a hole. Now we're going to set this to the side, let that glue dry, and we're going to get our decal ready. This is going to be a personal cut for me, so I just wanted my name on it. And these are all just little scrap pieces of vinyl that I found in my stash. I'm going to start with the very top. There's going to be a double offset on this, and I'm going to start with the very top, which is a metallic hot pink. I'm going to layer my decal with the parchment method, and I'm going to start with the very top. I'm going to go to the middle offset, line that up through that parchment, and I have a piece of my transfer tape hanging over, and that's going to be my anchor. So we slip the parchment out, and boom, there you go. And I'm going to do this one more time on the very bottom layer, the biggest offset that I have. And we're going to do the exact same thing. We're going to make sure that we have a piece of that transfer tape hanging. We're going to line it up, press our anchor point down, slip the parchment out, and then we're left with a great lined up decal. As you can see, the dot that I have made for front and center is slightly off from where my seam is. So what I'm going to do to kind of combat that a little bit is I'm going to straddle those 2 points. I am going to put the very bottom of my decal on the seam line, and that will make it appear that we are still even front and back with the front flower that we wanted and the name on the back. And that is how I'm going to keep this cup nice and cohesive and even. And once I'm done with this, I'm going to epoxy the entire tumbler until smooth. And here we go. Thank y'all so much for hanging out with me today. I hope to see you again soon. Bye.